sands of time are still today. But sometimes in life, a pause is a must in order to move ahead with more accelerated pace. We haven't stopped dreaming, nor has the sun stopped shining. In this tapestry of life, we're all connected. More than even the temple bells hang motionless, impatient to ring once again. The lion beckons the invader to tread the jungle where he reigns. The salt lands of the run of Kutch die to hear the sound of feet again. The Bandhani colors await the Navratri festivities, feeling quite incomplete. The Iron Man surveys the desolate cities. The ashram anxious to spread its tale of simplicity. The heritage city yearns to once again hear the sounds of human celebration. The relics wait to tell stories of an ancient civilization. The bells will resonate again. The sheer black of the desert night will steal your heart away. An explosion of life will soon see the light of day. Take a pause now to meet us again later.
Good afternoon, viewers, or I should say good afternoon to all of you who are listening from Australia, and good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. I'm RJ Vani, and I welcome you all to Akashvani Radio's this segment, which is an exclusive interview with Harsiddhi Pancholi, whose aim and goal is to pinpoint your concerns, whether it's mental, physical, or emotional, and help you heal them within just a fraction of minutes. Yes, just a fraction of minutes. So I have her with me, and she'll be joining us and talking all about it, her passion, the actual firm, which is called Mpower U Wellness. So without further ado, let's welcome her. Welcome, Harsiddhi.
Thank you, Vani. Thank you for having me here.
No problem. You're welcome to the show. And I'm sure just by listening to the first few lines, our viewers are excited to learn more about, obviously, you, your passion, and more about Mpower U Wellness. And I can see the banner behind you as well. But before we get into the actual business side of things, please tell me a bit about yourself. Where are you from? How long you've been here in Australia for?
Sure. So my name's Harsiddhi Pancholi. I am from India originally, from Gujarat. I was brought up in a very small town in Gujarat in Bhavnagar. And I've been in Australia, in Melbourne City, since 2008. So call Australia home now.
We're an old furniture now, isn't it? That's what
Absolutely.
I call myself.
Absolutely. Had my family here, and just been here too long to know any different.
Awesome. And you've always been a Melburnian?
Yes. Loud and proud.
Nowhere else to go in Australia but Melbourne. Melbourne is the living city. I keep saying
Absolutely.
that. Thank you for that. Moving on to your passion side of it, your passion, your profession. Tell us a bit about that.
Sure. So the profession that I'm in now is very different from what I have actually been in for the last 15 years. And I'll tell you about that story. So my business name is called Mpower U Wellness, and I'm an emotion code and a body code practitioner. So that certification basically allows me to use energy medicine to help people, bring back balance and harmony into their bodies. Now, the reason I moved towards this was due to my own personal health crisis, which I'll talk about a little later. But I had my background in biochemistry. So I studied my master's in biochemistry. I worked in the field of medicine for 15 years. And so I've basically known the human body, the human systems, and how medicines work in our body as well. So I used to be in the field of clinical trials. So testing the medicines for how they work in the body, are they effective, are they safe, everything. And having gone through that journey, I realized that, yes, Western medicine plays a very critical role at critical times in our life. But for chronic issues, like I personally suffered from high blood pressure after birth of my second child. And for those type of chronic issues, if I were to take those medicines for next 30 years of my life, I'm going to actually spoil my kidneys and liver and everything. So I decided to look into what else can I do to actually help my body recover from this and not be on these medicines forever, because I knew the way it affects the body. So my education and experience actually kind of prepared me to be here, I would say.
Oh, wow. Great. And I mean, you've got me thinking on a different level, right? As in, being a doctor, they would say, yes, you have to be on this medicine or that medicine, depending on how critical things are and stuff. And then you've seen both sides of it. Which one
Absolutely.
works better?
Both have their own place. So I feel the work that I do now is complementary to the Western medicine. It's complementary to the conventional way of doing things. So it's not this or that. We can work together. But like I said, like if you have a trauma, if you have an injury, like in an accident or anything, energy healing can help to recover once that actual trauma is over, right? If you have some major diseases, in that time you will need Western medicine. But then to treat the symptoms later, you don't need Western medicine. You actually need to work on the root cause of it, which energy medicine allows you to do. So it's about working together and having a holistic viewpoint for the client rather than saying this or that.
Right. Amazing. Thank you. So tell
My
us
pleasure.
about Empower You Wellness. Firstly, how did the name come up?
The name came due to my own experience with energy medicine. So I'll share my story about what got me here. Like I briefly mentioned, I had high blood pressure issues after birth of my second son. My second child, my first son actually. And what I realized is after his birth, my energy levels were very down. I was very obese. My lethargy, motivation were like lethargy, high motivation, absolutely rock bottom. And overall I was just feeling as if I have to crawl through life, like there was just no enthusiasm left in me. And I experienced this after the birth of my first child as well, but it was a very short term, whereas this one felt like too severe. And then when I went to the GP, she gave me the blood pressure medications and she said, that's okay, this is life of mother of two, welcome to motherhood all over again. And I was like, I'm not buying into that. Like I wanted a life where two children that I have are growing up in joy and in fun mother. But I was completely opposite, angry, upset, tired all the time. So when I felt such stuck in that moment, I decided I wanted to help myself. So in that time I started with the medicines. So for that period, I started with blood pressure medicines, but I also started researching ways to actually heal my body myself or through some other ways. And that's when I came across this modality, the emotion code and the body code. I took some healing sessions and I started to see some mindset shifts. And with that mindset shifts, I was able to actually see my patterns, my beliefs, and basically what I was thinking. And then, once you identify those things, once that awareness is there, you're able to choose whether you want to break out of them or you want to cry over them, right?
Yes.
I chose to break over them, and then there was a domino effect. Things followed. Life got better. My nutrition, I changed the way I used to eat, the amount of exercise I could do. But basically, that shift in mindset was the pivotal thing in that time for me to make those subsequent changes. And at the end of this whole journey, I lost 25 kgs. I stopped the BP medications in 10 months, and I felt very empowered, right? And so that is where I said, okay, I am going to study what this is. I'm going to be certified in this, and I'm going to make sure that I empower other individuals to live a life they deserve and they want.
That's
So
that's an amazing story, and
that's how the name was born.
I'm glad you said that it's all in the mind, because yes, we keep talking about it, but at the end of the day, then it takes toll on us. And you're right, you either sit and cry over it or you move on and bring up what works for you. But it's also about guidance as well, not more so what works for you, right? Because there's so many things out there, whether it's medicine or whether it's on wellness, yoga, every expert is going to give their opinion. What
Absolutely.
is the right side for you? What is correct for you? And that's when these live examples help. Thank you for sharing your story, because I'm sure we all would have gone through this. I have one child, and I still think back when she was very young and I had to go back to work, and the pressure of work and managing the family, it's quite hard. And you're, especially mentally, yes, physically definitely, but mentally as well, it's hard to keep up. So tell us about the services that Empower You Wellness give to help people out.
Yeah. So I like that you mentioned that, every expert in their field is going to recommend what they do and, what is right or wrong for them. But the beauty of the work that I do is I actually have the ability, because I have practiced it in a way. Like each one of us has the ability to heal ourselves, right? I've just practiced it a little more than other individuals on the street at the moment. So I have the ability to channelize the information from the subconscious of the other person. And what that does is it's a very unique, very individual way to heal oneself, because what causes your body weight or your blood pressure issue might be completely different for another, like the root cause of that issue would be very different for you and for me, right?
Yes.
So for me, it was like, for me, the funny thing is, we think that our life is beautiful, where was the trauma? Like I have really had a very safe and very amazing childhood. Like a lot of people in this country, I know, have not been that blessed, but I've had it personally. But my trauma came from being the youngest in the family, right? So simple things like that, because I did not get it and six other people in the house got it, because we were living in joint family, that made me feel like I had lack of self-worth, right? And that was causing all my issues. So it can be very simple things like that, or obviously people have very difficult childhoods and challenging childhoods. So what I identify as the root cause for you will be very different for another person. And that way, this therapy is about identifying those blocks through your subconscious and then letting go,
Right.
right? So
And
like,
obviously there's so much there'll be so much discussion around as well, right? You need time to learn the mindset of the person you're seeing yourself as well. So how do you manage that in a very short span and come up with a very short remedy for it?
so, I have to say, yes, I have achieved outcomes where people have experienced changes overnight. But there are also, like, this healing takes place in layers. So generally, I say it's about, you have to give yourself 8 to 10 weeks to completely overcome those, issues and, have that shift. But yes, you will start to experience the changes from the first session itself, right? Um, Sorry, Vani, can you repeat your question for me?
No, I was just curious to know as to how you manage, learning different emotions yourself before you can, guide them through, and then, have it all ready in a very short time span.
Yeah, so the beauty of this therapy, again, Vani, is it's not, there is no preparation involved as such, except for knowing what the issues the person has. And then it is your subconscious. So the subconscious is like the data of the computer, it has all the information. I
Yes.
just know how to tap into it. So it is almost like, our internet, and we are intranet. Like, as humans, we are intranet and we have an internet. So in internet, you have a server, Google, you enter a query, you find the answer. In our intranet, I put a question to the source saying, what is causing this person's pain in the shoulder? What is causing his anxiety? What is causing her depression? And it just gives me the answer. It's nothing I need to prepare for, but it is going to give me everything I need to know. I just need to know how to ask. So the strength lies in asking the questions and receiving the information.
Amazing, amazing. And what are the types of treatments that you do?
Yeah. So if, as you can see in my background,
Yeah.
This therapy can work for anything and everything under the sun. So, but however, like I like to help clients more with their physical pains, anxiety, depression, and relationship challenges. The way my practice has evolved is, usually when one person takes this therapy in the house and they see the benefits, they always want it for their husband, they want it for their children. And then it is about bringing that family together, right? Because we all have certain things which trigger us in the family. So it's about, overcoming those relationship challenges. It's about overcoming your own limiting beliefs, right? And all your chronic pains, all the diseases that we experience, all the anxiety, stress, lack of clarity, feeling that stuck or emotional numbness. The root cause of everything is emotions, right? And if you release those emotions from whenever that would be, from this lifetime, from your parents, anywhere it has come from, you will start to experience this shift very immediately.
Okay.
I hope I know this is new for a lot of people, and it's like it's kind of
It is.
hard to digest what I'm saying.
No, no, it's not hard to digest, but every answer that you give, I'm very curious to find out more about it. I think that's what, drives me into this. And I'm sure, and I always think, on behalf of my viewers and listeners, obviously, that if they're not here live, obviously we cover as much information for them as possible. So whenever they're listening, they could, benefit from it. So what type of people you've seen so far that you've helped?
So, my clients, because this work is done at a subconscious level, age is no barrier, distance is no barrier, right? And even the type of person thing I'm working on is no barrier. So the way it works is, it can be used for a child who is a 1 day old child, 200 years plus, right? My typical age group of the, people I work with is between 30 to 50s, but I have had clients who are 75 years old. I've had clients who are like 2 weeks old, right? So, infants having sleep issues, you can still use this, and you can identify things that is causing that colic in them, things like that. Just work stress in adults 30 years old. These days it's very common, 25 to 45, they're like crazy stressed.
Yes.
So, kind of addressing what's causing their stress, because all those things actually come from our childhood beliefs that we develop from 1 to 10 years of age, right? Of how we were taught things, of how we experience stuff. Because trauma is not what happens to us, it is about how we perceive it, right?
Yes.
So when we perceive certain situations in a certain way, we try and attract those again in our lives because that becomes our patterns. And then it's about breaking those to be able to move forward. So yeah, clients can be any age. And like I said, it can work for infants to 100-year-old. It can also work for pets. Like I use this for pets because it's subconscious. We all have spirit bodies, and it is about tapping into that. And I also do house clearings, so clearing the energies of the house. And it's a very, very beautiful, very effective, very quick way of clearing the house energies.
Wow. Tell me more about those 2 points. How
Uh,
pet friendly? Tell me about that first.
So with pets, it's usually this exactly the same way as humans. We just work on their emotions. So a lot of times people adopt pets from rescue places and stuff, and they've
Yes.
had so much trauma, right? So when you go back into their timeline and say, okay, when you were born, what were you experiencing, or what did they witness? People, or some abuse, this that. You can release all those emotions, and you can actually see change in pets behaviors. Like sometimes they might be very scared pets, sometimes they may be very aggressive pets, but you can actually see the change in behavior once you release their heart wall. I will actually touch upon that concept as well. And heart wall is like an amazing thing to work on in humans as well,
Okay.
right? And with regards to house, it's about clearing, because everything's energy. So depending on how the house was built, on what land it was built, people who built it, people who lived in it before you, it's just absorbing every single emotion that goes through, within the house. So it's important to get rid of those emotions as well. And like people have come back to me. I've served over 300 clients now. So I've got a lot of feedback from people to say how they've experienced with house clearing, with heart wall clearing. So it's very rapid and very quick change that they notice, okay, the house feels a lot calmer. Otherwise, sometimes, a lot of people say, as soon as we come in house, we start fighting. And then, once you clear the house, okay, that settles down and, people are more cordial, more happier inside the house. So people do notice that change very quickly. And the best part is most times women in the house do these sessions and men and the kids don't even know, and still they can experience the shift.
Amazing. I don't know how you do. I don't know how you do all this. Maybe I need a free session of every little thing you do. That's how curious I am to find out more. But tell me about the heart wall thing.
Yeah. So with the heart wall, basically the heart wall is like, of course, a lot of us Indian cinema followers would have heard this term, "मैंने अपने दिल पे पत्थर रख दिया है." So it is pretty much like that. There is an emotional numbness that you bring into your life because of some trauma that you've experienced. Now, like I said, the trauma can be big or small, it doesn't matter. But if that has made you feel hurt, you're going to block it. And it is very good in that time because you can move forward in your life as such, at a conscious level, and do things. But what happens is it always interferes with your present. Like, for example, if there was a war and you were living in bomb shelter, it's good. You're going to be protected. But war is over. You continue to live in a bomb shelter. It's of no use. You're not going to progress in life.
No.
So it's pretty much like that. And then when you clear the heart wall, people have experienced good health because every emotion actually adds to your stress. So every negative emotions that you're holding into your body it adds to the stress, and stress actually brings down your immunity. So clearing the heart wall brings your immunity up. It also brings back a lot of abundance in your relationships because there is more exchange of love and compassion. It makes you more open to receiving, so your overall life works with ease and grace. Your relationships improve, your clarity of thoughts improve because now you have a clear heart, clear mind to think what you actually want. So there are just amazing benefits of doing a heart wall clearing. And that's why I have designed my, most issues that we experience, the root basis of it is emotions, and most emotions are stored around the heart. So the first thing I do to help people is clear their heart walls, which takes about 4 to 6 or sometimes 8 sessions. And then I help them, also work on their issues at the same time. So every sessions we work on the issues as well. So I have an 8-week program, and so it's once a week, every week for 8 weeks. And there we release the heart wall. We work on the issues, like it may be pain, it may be anxiety, whatever it may be. And usually people have a form they have to fill, and they write 3 things, but usually on first session those 3 things become 20 things. So it's amazing. And then what happens is by the time they are on third or fourth session, they're like, oh, I can't even remember that I used to have those things.
Or
So
they'll
that's
be like, oh, really? I was, upset over a small issue.
Yeah. So I had a client, so when she was 25, she had a breakup. And when she came to me, she was 55, 56. So 30 years, she was living with that, grief of that breakup, which she thought she had moved on from. Obviously, we all think that ways. And then when she came, she's like, I feel like doing this and sending this information to that person, this and that. And all that happened. I said, yeah, that's fine. I just listen to things people say. And then we kept clearing. And by the third session, I asked her, I said, how do you feel about that person? And she's like, whom are you talking about? So then it's
Wow.
just kind of like, you just don't carry
Sure.
that story, that charge in your body anymore about things that happen to you, because all of these things are about, carrying that charge of that emotion that you felt. And once you let go that charge, it just becomes a story and you can't be bothered too much then.
Again, the questions still keep popping up as you keep talking. Tell me something, and I'm going off topic here, but it'll be interesting to know this. who motivates the motivator? You take in all that negative energy, whether it's, from a house, from a heart, from a person, whatever it is. How do you keep up with all that yourself?
Yeah. So, well, the good thing is I am not the one healing. So I'm just a channel. The divine source is healing. So I have nothing about giving or taking. That's not my job. But yes, it is important to keep my energies clean. So for that, I do a lot of meditation. I have to be, quite disciplined with my routine. So meditation, eating the right kind of foods. Like, sometimes there are days when my body tells me no onion today. Like I'm a vegetarian, nothing to do with spirituality or anything. It's just how I was grown up. And so, that is one part of me. But then it's also about not eating certain foods at certain times and it's not about, again, religious beliefs. It's just how my body feels. It tells me what I need to do. So our body
Yeah.
is always talking. The pain is also telling you that I have a problem,
Yeah.
right? But we don't
Whether
have
you
the
listen
ability to
to it or
listen.
not.
Exactly. So now I have attuned myself to listen to my heart, to my intuition, to my body, everything. And that is where I can do the right things by it. Right?
Okay.
And so it's about keeping your energies in a certain way, really.
Yeah. Because in this day and age, it's really tough to keep up with things that are happening. And I'm talking about normal stuff. For you, your job itself is like full on all the time. So even for normal work, if it's hard, to keep that balance of things. So that's why I was more curious to know you. How do you keep up with things?
See, the
Um,
beauty is I love this work so much that it doesn't feel daunting at all. It doesn't take away anything from me because giving is twice receiving, right? I do free group healing sessions once every month on my private Facebook page. We can share that in the comments or in the post later.
yes.
And I get like 50 women sign up to those things, and the experience that we have as a collective. So this form of healing can be done one on one and in groups as well.
Okay.
So one on one obviously is more unique and tailored to an individual. But when you do group, it is about how the collective is feeling on the day. So, just the other day, so I do it on 23rd of each month. So we just
Okay.
had one 3 days ago. And I worked on chronic pains and fatigue. And people next day were messaging me saying, "Thank you so much. I slept like a baby. Thank you so much. My pain's all gone away." So and of course you have to keep. See, it's not that it's gone away permanently unless you work on it every single day afterwards as well. But you can get the sense of relief with one session as to how better life can be if you do the right things by your body, mind, and spirit. Right?
Yes. So on that note, how do people contact you and join in?
Sure. So I am everywhere on social media. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can find me as Harsiddhi Pancholi. My business page is Empower U Wellness on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you are into this kind of work or would like to know more, I definitely encourage you to join my private page as well. That is where I actually do daily exercises. Obviously mental, emotional exercises, and a lot of other things, information that uplifts you in that private page. So you're welcome to join that as well. The other way, obviously, is through WhatsApp. So we can leave the number in the chat box later on, and they can reach me on that number as well.
Yes, I can add a comment now if you want. So if you share your number now with me, I'll just add it to the comment section. So it is
Sure, it's 0403 907 403.
add this before I forget. So they can WhatsApp you and arrange a session as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I'm happy to give a 15-minute trial session to anyone who is watching this today or later at any time. So if they mention, that they have watched me on your show or through Gujarati Helpline or Akash Vani, I'm more than happy to give them a 15-minute trial lesson. So a trial session. Been
Oh,
with too long with the kids.
that's all right. Thank you so much. And so, to all our viewers and listeners, you don't have to be live with us right away. to be able to get this 15-minute free session. Whenever you jump on our page and you are listening to us and viewing this show, feel free to contact Harsiddhi and give the reference of Akashvani Radio, and she'll be able to help you out with the free 15-minute session. Thank you so much for doing that.
My pleasure.
Backstage, you mentioned about a session that's coming up. Is it I think I've got the banner.
That's the group session, yes.
So there we go. I've got the banner here. You can tell us more about it.
Yeah, so this is another group healing session. This is not a free 1 hour session. It's a paid 3-day session. So 1 hour every day for 3 days. So on 28th, 29th, and 30th of March next month at 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Melbourne time, I'll be conducting these sessions. What we are going to do is, because it's a group healing, I've limited the number to 10 individuals. It could be men or women. And the idea is to collectively heal the heart walls, collectively reduce the root causes that are causing the chronic pains and fatigue in that group, and overall kind of universe guided whatever comes through. It is affirmations or visualizations or meditations, whatever comes through at the time of the sessions. I give that information out, and people need to then practice those things in their daily routine.
And because there's limited numbers, I'll tell our viewers and listeners to sign up really soon. And I can see at the bottom there's a little banner that says 10% discount if you book it by 7th of March. So
Absolutely.
I really, really suggest and invite you all to please join this group healing program.
Yeah, it's a beautiful experience. Just email me on this email address and I can book you in. But yes, like I said, I'm only looking at a group of 10 at this time. So the spots are very limited.
Awesome. The email address is on the banner as well, mpoweruwellness@gmail.com. And obviously, we'll share the banner as a comment as well, Harsiddhi, when I tag you. You can upload a photo, so we'll share there.
Sure. Vani, I also want to mention at this point, I'm actually a published author on Amazon. I've got an ebook on 26 ways to heal from chronic pain. So, I encourage the viewers to go and have a look at that as well. And if, that's something they're looking at. So that book basically covers very, very simple techniques outside of Western medicine that you can use to heal your pain, right? So it gives you a perspective about what else is available to you to help you with your pain.
So it's on Amazon. And could you repeat the name again?
Yes, it's 26 ways to recover from your chronic pains. So it says A to Z of living life pain-free.
Can't wait to see that book. Really cannot wait to see it. And I would also like to going to have Harsiddhi back again with us after some time as well to talk about certain points in depth as well, because we don't want to stretch this particular interview too much, so that you get the most out of it in short time. But we'll definitely have her back talking more about specific points in detail. And if you would like to tell us what you want us to present to you, please reach out to me on akashvaniradio1@gmail.com. So that's akashvaniradio1@gmail.com, and we can certainly cover the points that are more important to you and get it done that way. Harsiddhi, have I missed anything that you would like to share?
I think we've covered everything that comprises of the basic information. Obviously, if people have any questions, they can comment, or they can reach out to me via email, Facebook, however they please. I'm happy to answer the questions. But like I said, this is very, very unique to every individual. Their journeys will be very different. So it's best to reach out to me in person if you have any questions.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. It was really a very informative session. And just how I'm curious to find out more and learn these techniques, I'm sure our viewers and listeners are too. So I hope, they can contact you and you can help them out. But I really appreciate you joining us, and I hope to see you again. And have a wonderful
pleasure.
day.
No, thank you for taking out the time to interview me today. Completely appreciate that.
No problem.
And it's been a pleasure. I hope, a lot of people can understand that there are other options available for them. They don't have to live with pain.
Absolutely. So contact Harsiddhi now from Empower U Wellness. You will see her logo and the way it's written Empower U Wellness in the background there at the banner as well. So very easy to find on socials. Thank you so much, Harsiddhi.
Thank you.
All right, it's time for me to go, my dear viewers and listeners. I will catch up with you again over another show with another topic, another guest. Until then, I hope you have an amazing time ahead. Thank you. Bye.